Are you interested in learning more about flying on Southwest Airlines? Are you looking for a Southwest Airlines review? Well, you're in the right place. Let's talk about more on Southwest Airlines. If you're new here, what's up, y'all? This is Kim with WorkHardTravelWell.com. Thanks for checking out my channel. I post weekly videos around travel, lifestyle, and tech for busy professionals. So if you want to learn more about these things, do me a favor and hit subscribe and turn on the bell for notifications so you don't miss any videos. Jeb Brooks posted a video called Why People Love Southwest Airlines. And I agreed with most of his points in the video, Why People Love Southwest Airlines. However, I'm going to add a few things to it. I'm going to give you the 411 on what it's like to fly on Southwest Airlines. I'm going to give you, more tips on how to board, how to book your tickets, like the fine print, all of that. And I even have some trip reports from what it was like to travel during the pandemic on Southwest Airlines. So I've taken a few COVID travel trips, and there are some videos. I'll leave related videos in the description of this video. So let's get into Southwest Airlines, and I'll even give a Southwest Airlines review. So I've been flying on Southwest Airlines for some time now. I'm based in Atlanta, so my only options are either Southwest or Delta Airlines for the most part. As a disclaimer, I'm not being paid to post this video. And, all of these tickets were either purchased with my money or my points. But if Southwest Airlines is looking to partner with a travel content creator, a travel influencer, definitely hit me up. Let's start from the very beginning. When you're looking to book a flight, you may be wondering, why don't you ever see Southwest Airlines when you're looking on Google Flights, Skyscanner? That's because Southwest Airlines flights will not show up on those websites. You have to go directly to southwest.com to look at the flights. One thing I like about Southwest is, even though it's not on Google Flights or Skyscanner, so you can't say plan a trip for XYZ, they do have an option for you to be able to search by their route maps, as well as a low fare calendar, which we'll get into shortly. So when you're booking, there are 3 types of fares you can look at. You can do the Wanna Get Away flight, which offers you 2 bags free, no change fees, no cancel fees, earn 6 rewards per dollar spent. So if you have to cancel, you get that 12 months to use the credit. There's the Anytime fee. The Wanna Get Away, as you can see, these go from order of costs. So Wanna Get Away is going to be your least expensive. Anytime fare is 2 bags free, no change fees, no cancel fees. You earn 10 points, rapid reward points per dollar, flight credit up to 12 months, same day change, same day standby. Business Select is the most expensive, and that's 2 bags fly free, no change fees, no cancel fees, flight credit up to a month. You get 12 points, rapid reward points per dollar. It is refundable, and same day change, same day standby, priority boarding, flyby, and complimentary premium drink. So you get priority boarding A1 through 15. It's important to note that it's refundable. So when you're canceling these other flight fares, you actually will get a credit. So you won't get that money back. And another important thing to note, even though there's no cancellation fees, you have to pay the cost, the difference between the fare. Let's give an example really quickly of what it's like to book a flight or search for flights on Southwest Airlines. So let's just put an example, and Atlanta to Philadelphia. And let's put in like a date, and you would select passengers. And one thing another tidbit about Southwest Airlines is some airlines actually charge you more if you want to do a one-way, but you can look at one-ways and they're actually be the same cost as if you were to divide the round trip by half. So I really like that, so you can be flexible. So let's look at a round trip option. And here are the different fares that I mentioned. Because this is like less than a month out, it's kind of expensive, but you see some of the evening flights are less expensive. Let's say that you say, hey, this is not in my price range. So let's look at what it would be if you click on low fare calendar. So I really like this option. It's pretty straightforward. As you can see, Saturday is very expensive, which is actually April 3rd. And now that I think about that, I believe that's Easter weekend. But you can see, you know, which days is cheaper to depart on and which days is cheaper to return on. So that can help you with narrowing down the dates. You can even add in points. So you can, if you have Rapid Reward points, you can search by which days offer the lowest amount of points that you can book. On the home page, you'll notice they're always having a sale, but it always depends on the destination. But anyway, here are the flight offers. Here's the route map. And here it shows you all the different routes. So let's say you wanted to see which cities you depart from. So again, I'm choosing Atlanta. It changes, if you notice, based on which departure. So you can see where it goes. And if you're one that is interested in nonstop flights only, the list changes again. So that's another way to kind of look at how to book flights, and then you search flights that way. So there's two different ways that you can go in and look at flights. So that is the booking process. That's how you search for flights. And here are the flight offers currently. And this would show you where the offers are. And they also offer hotel and car rental. Let's talk about leading up to day of when you're about to fly, the process. One thing you want to do is check as say you book this flight 6 months out. You want to keep an eye out on the trip that you actually booked, because you could potentially get points back or money back if the fare drops. That used to be a lot more common back in the day. I haven't actually checked it lately to see if that's still the case due to COVID travels and things like that. But at the time previously, I was able to get points back. What I would do is just search the flight, and then if it's changed, I rebook it. I click change flight and then select the cheaper, select the same time slot and it's cheaper. It'll show a plus points going back or plus money going back to you if the flight fare has changed since you booked it. So that's another great thing. And another important milestone before the trip is 24 hours before your flight's departure, you need to check in, because unlike most airlines, you do not get to choose your seat on Southwest Airlines. That bothers some people. It doesn't really bother me because I've got it down to I need to check in within 5 seconds of my time to be able to check in, and I usually can get A, unless the only time I've not been able to get A is the flight actually going to Memphis, and Atlanta was a stop of an existing flight. So going to Memphis actually meant I was getting on a plane from people that had already come from another destination. So I ended up in B and ended up in the back of the plane because there was already people on the plane from another destination. Check in and make sure I use the app. I have the app on my phone. I would encourage you, if you're traveling on Southwest Airlines, to get the app on your phone as well. The only way you can check in a little bit ahead of time is if you pay an extra $15 to get early bird check-in. Is an automatic check-in 36 hours before your departure. So you're getting ahead of the 24-hour crowd. While it doesn't guarantee that you'll be in the A group, because like I mentioned a few moments ago, that I checked in early and still got B because the flight had people on the flight. Now let's talk about the day of your flight. you basically, you've already checked in. Hopefully you've already checked in. You have your boarding pass either on your phone or you printed it out when you get to the airport. I am like, I don't know why, but even though I have it on my phone, I still print it out because I've seen horror stories, and my phone screen isn't that cracked, but I've seen people go through all the way to security and for some reason they can't get their phone to scan. And if you're like an A-list or you booked a business select ticket, there's a different counter for you to go to versus just like the regular counter where you can either like drop your bag, but you basically print out your boarding ticket, print out your baggage ticket if you're checking bags. Again, like I said earlier, you're allowed 2 bags, 50 pounds and under. So you drop off your bag and, they they look at your ID, they look at your ticket. Make sure you take off the baggage, confirmation that's on the bottom of the ticket so that you can keep track of your bag. And then if you're flying during COVID, there is a acknowledgement that is when you buy the ticket that's at the kiosk when you go to print off your boarding pass as well as your baggage, that you must adhere to these rules about the rules that they have in place for traveling during COVID. Boarding.
You must be at least 18 years of age, willing and able to assist in case of emergency. Hey, 1 through 20, please line up on these yellow beautiful dots.
You board, it's A group. Then if you're a family that have children under 6, you A-list and A-list preferred go before the B group. And then, disclaimer, if this is during COVID travel, make sure you check out my other videos about what it's like to travel on Southwest Airlines during the pandemic, because there's different rules in place, different boarding procedures. You're boarding if you're traveling with someone else. Unfortunately, if you guys didn't get the same position, you guys do have to be separated. You can hopefully meet up on the plane. Usually I see people like saving seats for their family members, and I am considerate. I don't try to no, you can't save seats. So I hope most people do the same. It's usually not been an issue on Southwest Airlines. That's the boarding process. On the plane, there is entertainment, but you have to use your phone or tablet. They include free movies and free television shows. You can pay for Wi-Fi unless you're like a different tier. Some of the higher tiers get free Wi-Fi on their flights. The Wi-Fi is pretty inexpensive. There is not like meal service like you would expect on some of your other airlines. They do like snacks and they have drinks. They normally have alcoholic drinks, but like I said, definitely watch the video for more details on what they're doing now for COVID travel on Southwest Airlines. And bonus, during normal travel, whatever that's going to look like in the future, if you're traveling on your birthday, you get a free drink. Let's get into a Southwest Airlines review. Pretty much my experiences on Southwest Airlines have been really good. I've not had that many delayed flights. I can think of 2 flights, but I've flown a lot on Southwest Airlines. So there have been 2 flights where my flight from Atlanta to LaGuardia was delayed for some reason. I cannot remember why at the time. And then I had a delay when we were coming back from Cuba. The staff has always been friendly. I've not met anyone where I'm just oof. For Southwest Airlines. I can't say the same for all airlines. The seat room is adequate. I don't feel like I'm flying on something raggedy. Customer service is adequate. When I've complained about delays, they've offered, of course, either points or a voucher. They don't try to basically break you up the coals for some of these flights. Like I showed you earlier, Atlanta to Philly was $57. I like using Southwest Airlines to get to other destinations to cut down costs. If I'm going out of the country and Southwest Airlines doesn't fly to those destinations, then I can use Southwest to either fly for free. The points go a long way, as you can see. Some of the flights that I showed earlier were like 2,000 points. That's pretty decent compared to some of the other airlines where I have to literally spend like 20,000 points to get a free flight. So points go a long way for Rapid Rewards. Make sure you sign up. Well, some of the cons of Southwest Airlines doesn't bother me, but it might bother you. So the number one is you don't get to choose your seat. So if you're traveling with a big family, this can be challenging. If you're someone that loves, needs to have that window seat and worried about maybe getting stuck in the middle, I wouldn't recommend Southwest Airlines. Although, like I've said, I've rarely had this issue, and this is out of the Atlanta airport. Another con of the limited international routes that are available. Another disadvantage is Southwest Airlines is even though they have those international routes that I mentioned earlier, where I'm not really seeing a lot of direct flights. If you're someone that's short on time, when I went to Cuba, I actually had to connect through Fort Lauderdale and then go on to Havana. If you are someone that wants meal service, if you're flying this long flight from the East Coast to the West Coast or wherever, you might be someone that wants meal service. But I actually end up always bringing snacks anyway, so be mindful of that there's no meal service. And even right now, it's even more limited because of COVID. They're literally not even doing alcoholic beverages. There's no associated airport lounge with Southwest Airlines. But I actually have Priority Pass, which is agnostic of the airlines. So if I wanted to, I could check into a Priority Pass lounge. However, everything's like however right now because of COVID. Some of the lounges are closed anyway. But just know in the future, you can look at Priority Pass, and I'll have more details in the description of my video about what Priority Pass is. So that's all of the cons that I can think of for right now for Southwest Airlines. Let me know, do you like flying Southwest Airlines? Let me know maybe what's deterred you from booking with Southwest Airlines in the comments. The Rapid Rewards program for Southwest is probably like the best that I've seen so far with airlines. And that's because when the points go so far, as of now, they don't expire. In the past, they did expire, but now they do not expire. I was able to earn a lot of Rapid Rewards through credit cards. I had Southwest Rapid Rewards credit card, but I had the Premier credit card. And I also had the business credit card. And I'll tell you why I did that in a few. But right now, there's an offer. If you're interested, I'll have the details for a referral. I don't see any information when you apply, but I do get rewarded with points. And there is a way right now where you can earn 40,000 points for spending $1,000 in 3 months. Companion Pass. It was very popular a couple of years ago, but it seems like some people still might not know what a Southwest Companion Pass is. It is basically when you get 100 qualifying one-way flights or 125,000 qualifying points in a calendar year. So that's why I mentioned earlier when I signed up for the 2 cards, that gave me over 100,000 points. So all you need, right now, if you get 2 cards, if you got the Premier credit card, you would get 40,000. If you got the business credit card, you would get 60,000 based on and after you meet those spends, you would get those points, and that's 100,000 points. So you still need 25,000 more. You can get that with your spend on your cards. You can get that with flying and travel. You can get that with shopping and dining. You can use their Rapid Rewards partners, such as rental car companies where you get points for renting cars. You can make sure you get those partner spends to add to those points. Companion Pass is when someone can travel with you, but you have to pay like the taxes. For domestic flights, it's like $5.60 for each way. And then you're basically paying for your flight, so you can pay for it with miles or with Rapid Reward points, or you can pay for it with cash card. So you're basically paying for one flight, and then you pay the taxes on the second flight, and that person can fly with you. It was for the whole year. It would behoove you to get the Companion Pass at the beginning of the year, because when you get the companion pass, you get it for the remainder of the year you earned it in and the following year. So you basically, if you got it at the beginning of 2021, you'd be set until 2023 is when you would start having to pay for that second flight. Also, you can change your companion pass person that you designate, but you can only do it like 3 times a year. So be strategic about it. I have a review on my blog where I talk about more of the credit card details. I earned over 100,000 points for signing up for the credit cards. I was able to get like 17 one-way flights all off of 116,000 points at the time. So I really like the rewards program. I, still have points to this day just from earning. I think I still have like 30,000 points. It's not a lot, but I haven't really traveled that much to earn that many points. So I've just been continuing to, sign up for bonus offers and things like that to get points. There's also going to be a link to how you can earn points and miles while being at home or without traveling. So this is my information on Southwest Airlines. I hope that you found it helpful. Be sure to subscribe to my channel. I post weekly videos around travel, lifestyle, and tech for busy professionals. And check out these next videos, which are trip reports and details on what it was like flying Southwest Airlines during COVID travel.